Hi, you feather merchants. It seems like I've run out of film footage from Afghanistan, so I'm going to talk about some of the prison experiences I had at Pelican Bay. To start off with, I was in the Marine Corps for 3 years, from 1961 to 64. I got out of the Marine Corps. I became a structural iron worker, and that's when we were referred to as cowboys of the sky, because you'd seldom ever tie off. And anyway, in 1989, I thought I would try something that was a lot safer, and so I joined the California Department of Corrections. The first 10 months I spent in California Correctional Center in Susanville. And in July of 90, I transferred to Pelican Bay State Prison, and I worked there until the end of 2005 when I went to Afghanistan. Anyway, inside Pelican Bay, I responded to hundreds of stabbing and slashing assaults. I was in more riots than I can recall. I saw 3 inmates die in front of me, and I was a recipient of a knife attack myself. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And in 1999, I was assigned to the security squad. And during that time, what they would do is anyone that was new would respond to all the incidents, photograph the crime scene and process it, and testify in court. And we would do that until supervisors figured that we could process the crime scenes without any adult supervision. So I was still new at the time, and I responded to an alarm on A yard. And when I went over there, the whole yard's down, and there were 2 inmates who were cuffed up, one Southern Mexican and another. He was Mexican, but I don't remember what his affiliation was. It's been too long. Anyway, back then, the district attorney wanted us to leave the weapons in place and take photographs of the inmate and where the weapons were. And so I started to take my photographs, and there was a weapon right next to this inmate that was cuffed up. And I wanted to take the photos right away so I could get the weapon off the ground and put it in an evidence bag. Well, anyway, as I'm taking the photos, in my viewfinder, my camera viewfinder, I saw a real fast movement. And by the time I put the camera down, this inmate had slipped his cuffs, grabbed the weapon, and started to roll on the ground over towards the victim, who he tried to stab previous to this. And the victim was probably about 12 feet away, and he's in handcuffs. So if the guy that has a weapon, if he were to cover that distance, he could do a lot of damage to that kid. So anyway, I had to think real quick. I didn't want to use a baton on them. Usually that's pretty ineffective when your adrenaline is going. And I can't remember, we had gas back then. I believe we were carrying MK9s at the time. And anyway, what I did, I jumped on his back. And what I tried to do is, when I jumped on his back, is I was going to seize both wrists and lock my legs underneath in his legs, and where he couldn't move. Well, it worked out pretty good at first, except the hand that he had the knife, he broke loose of my grip, and now I'm on top of him, and no sense of getting up. So I just stayed on top of him, and what he did, he reached under his body, and he stabbed me in the thigh, and he stabbed me pretty good. It was like he only stabbed me one time. It was a metal fashion weapon, and I think it was about 5.5 inches long, something like that. But it was sharp, and it was metal. It was all metal. Anyway, when he stabbed me in the thigh, I thought, boy, if he hits that femur artery, it's going to be game over. But I didn't feel any blood pumping. It was just running down my leg. So anyway, the cavalry came, and we got the cuffs back on him, and I went to the hospital. They sewed it up, and I went home for 2 days, and I think it was the second day. I woke up, and my leg was all wet. I thought, what the heck? And I looked down at my leg, and the stitches had broke loose. My leg was swollen up, and when I pressed on the swollen part of my leg, it was like a green, yellowish pus squirted out, and I thought, oh, brother. So I went to the doctor, and he gave me an antibiotic, and he said this should clear it up. The next day it was worse. I went back to him, and so then he gave me another antibiotic. He said, take both of these at the same time. And I did that, and the third day, it got worse again. I mean, it was the pus was just oozing out of my leg. So anyway, he gave me 3 antibiotics to take at the same time, and he told me, he said, if this doesn't work, I'm not certain what to do. So I thought, well, that's not too good, because the nearest hospital from Crescent City is like over 2 hours away in Medford. So I went back home, and and the whole time I've got the prison bugging me to come back to work, and I'm thinking, give me a break here. So finally the 3 antibiotics that did work, and it cleared it up, and then we go to court. So the kid, we were at the prelim, and he plea bargained out, and they were going to give him 3 years, and I thought, you know what, this isn't going to fly. So I got up in court and explained to the judge, it's a little more serious than this, because actually it was an attempted murder. The doctor told me, he said, I was real lucky, because as deep as the knife went, he said, it just missed your femur artery, and I know I would have bled out on that yard. So they postponed the prelim, and we came back to court a week later, and I testified and explained what happened. And anyway, rather than go to trial and face a attempted murder charge, he pled out to 13 years, which he did 13 years in a security housing unit in Pelican Bay. We're pretty certain, because of the infection that I had, that the guy had soaked his weapon in feces and urine, prior to using it, and because that infection, that infection was incredible. Anyway, I've got a lot more stories that I can share with you guys, and that's what I'll do. And I've had a lot of unique experiences from when I was in the Marine Corps, and I worked as a structural iron worker, and of course working at Pelican Bay. What's interesting is I used to tell the guys at Pelican Bay, compared to being working in this prison, compared to being an iron worker, working in this prison is like working in a cookie factory. So anyway, I have a lot of iron worker stories that are unbelievable. It's a miracle I'm still alive. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the film, and if you did, I'll do some more.